Champions Paris, the highlight of the year, is finally here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna first take a quick look at the map elo for each of the teams heading into Champions Paris. Then we're gonna do a quick power ranking. After we are gonna take a look at the matches that are already confirmed, that we're gonna get the first 8 matches and take a look at what the map picks and bans might look like and which teams I think should win based off of that if they pick their maps optimally with all but with keeping in mind that we don't know which maps that they did they improve on in these 2 or 3 weeks off that they had before champs. And then lastly we are gonna do the pick'em. So now let's head into the map elo ratings first. So here we are, and as you can see, these are just the elos for Abyss that these teams have from the beginning of the year. I included that because it kind of paints the picture of how well did they understand the map, but obviously these teams might have improved or might have gotten worse at this map whilst it was out of the map pool. Then after Ascent, Bind, Growth, Haven, Lotus and Sunset, these are the elo for the 12 teams attending Paris, then their overall, and I've put in the changes because of Icebox being out. So as you can see, teams like Liquid or DRG or Sentinels who have either been really good on Abyss or have not been great at Icebox, obviously had a much higher rating now than they did before. And yeah, teams who were great on Abyss or maybe not so good on great on Icebox but maybe not so great on Abyss might have like a lower overall now that Icebox is out and Abyss is in. But if we look at the elo ratings overall, we can see that the number 1 team is yet again G2, just like they were at Toronto, and by quite a decent margin also. Then we have Team Liquid, and maybe a bit of a surprise, or probably a big surprise, Paper Rex only in 3rd. They were one of the teams who were good on Icebox, so that's a bit where that stems from. But yeah, also G2 has just been more dominant in their region. So I wouldn't say that this large difference, it doesn't mean that much. But then after we have Billy, then we've got Giant X, and then like really close together DRG, Sen and NRG, then DRX and RRQ, Team Heretics, Gilai, all of these teams really close by each other. Then Fnatic and EDG, and then T1, and then by far the worst team, MIBR, who just got in because Americas has a different reason, or has a different method of choosing which team goes to Paris. So that's why MIBR got in, even though they didn't make playoffs, which, yeah, it's not great, but maybe they can surprise people. But I'm not one of the people who is believing in them. So now let's head into the power rankings. So here we are, and I think we're gonna start at the top and put G2 in S tier. They've looked like one of the, if not the best team all year long. Now with Leaf being back again, they looked incredible in Americas, completely stomped their way through playoffs, and are for sure one of the favorites coming into Champions Paris to win. But yeah, we'll have to see if they can show up this time or if they're gonna lose out after being one of the main contenders again. Then after I have Paper Rex in S tier. They won Masters Toronto, have looked incredible in Pacific, so they are together with G2 one of the favorites, and I'm putting a third favorite up there that maybe not everyone would put in S tier, but I'm picking Liquid in S tier. If I had to bet right now, I would bet on one of these three teams to win. They just look like a step above all the other teams, so that's why I'm putting Team Liquid in S tier. Then after in A tier, it gets a bit interesting. I think in general, the field is very close by after these three. With MIBR, I can already do this, them being the worst team, they're in D tier for sure. But the other teams, they look really close by, and every single one of these teams could beat each other. And yeah, that makes it really hard to predict, especially with some of the shenanigans going on with teams like Fnatic and Heretics bombing out of playoffs and then still making champs, and still these teams still having this insane potential that they could win a championship. So that makes it really hard to rank these teams, because do you rate these teams on their potential or on the form that you've seen them play the last time around? So you kind of need to find the middle ground, I think. But yeah, I'm gonna continue with A tier, where I'm gonna put PLG. They're the strongest team coming out of China, and yeah, if there's one Chinese team that can have an impact, it will be BLG. I think the other Chinese teams aren't quite as strong. EDG didn't look like their old selves. XLG has been a bit rough. And while DRG has looked really good, I think Wuxu, if Wuxu ends up not being able to play and they have to play Demon 1, that's a massive downgrade, not having your best player. So that's why I'm not high on DRG at all. I'm gonna continue in A tier with Sentinels. I know they got beat by NRG, but I still feel more confident about this team. I think this team is really hungry to win, and I think they've shown the potential that they can be one of the best teams. And they've shown it at the past internationals already that they can scrap with the other teams. Then next up, I'm putting RRQ in A tier. They were really good in Pacific as well, especially in the playoffs. They came online, and with their lower bracket run, they cemented themselves there. Then it's so hard. Where do you put these teams? I think I would put NRG, Fnatic, and Heretics in B tier, and Giant X2. I really don't know, because Fnatic and Heretics have higher potential than Giants, in my opinion, but GX was better than them in playoffs, right? So that makes it really hard. I would also put T1 with them, and yeah, I think these teams I would put in B tier. I wouldn't put EDG with them, even though they are the Chinese team that has the most potential for me, or in my opinion. And they could really make a run. So I'm actually putting EDG with them. And then in C tier, we have these three teams in that order as well. So now let's think about the order in B tier. I think I would put Fnatic last just because hmm, it's really hard to rank these teams because Fnatic has so much potential, but their map pool looks so rough. So yeah, I'm putting EDG and T1 behind them, but yeah, I'm putting Fnatic in last out of the EMEA teams, and then I think I'm putting. Do I put Team Heretics over NRG? I don't know. I think Giant X fits here. I think Giant X is a bit too high. I don't know. They played so well in playoffs, but I'm still doubting them. I think I'm gonna move them to the back of B tier. Even though that might be really foolish to not believe in them again, and they're gonna surprise me again. And I think I'm putting T1 ahead of Fnatic. Yeah, I think this is the tier list that I'm going with. I'm not confident at all, as you might have seen. Ah, I really have no clue what's gonna happen at Champions Paris, and that makes it really exciting, to be honest. But yeah, for the moment, this is what I'm going with. I have just a lot of teams in B tier because Fnatic and Heretics make it really hard for me to really have a good opinion on them. For T1, it's kind of the same. They have really high potential, but have not quite shown it. So yeah, we'll just have to kind of wait and see. And yeah, so these are the power rankings done. So now let's look at the matches that are coming up. And our first matchup is Paper Rex against XLG. Paper Rex have not picked Corrode yet, so that's a question mark if they are gonna keep continuing to ban it. But yeah, this is how I see the map picks and bans shaking out. And as you can see, I think Paper Rex is gonna take this match 2-1. It could also be a 2-0, depending on the Corrode permaban. If Paper Rex doesn't have it as a permaban, then for sure there is a way that Paper Rex 2-0s them. So yeah, I think Paper Rex are gonna start off with a win. So next up we have Giant X against Sentinels. And as you can see, Giant X never played Abyss. But I wouldn't necessarily say that it's gonna be a permaban because the map is coming in new in the rotation. So Sen at least have to be worried that Giant X have prepared something on that map. Overall, I would say this is gonna be kind of a close match, but it's gonna be a 2-1 for Sen in my opinion. As you can see, I think if Giant X come in well prepped on Abyss, then they could have a shot, but I would favor Sen for the time being. The next match is BLG against MIBR, and as you can see, BLG are clear favorites over MIBR. Pretty much any team is gonna be, and yeah, I think we're gonna get a 2-1 for BLG here. Pretty much whatever MIBR does, I think BLG will be ready for it. And I just don't think that MIBR can somehow turn it around. So yeah, 2-0 for BLG in my opinion. And now we have the first really close match in my opinion. Now as you can see, I've put Fnatic banning Sunset and RRQ banning Bind. This is just simply both of these teams banning their own worst maps, and it's also the map with the biggest difference. Then I think Fnatic should pick Abyss. I'm not certain that they will. It depends on how much prep did they put into this map during these last weeks heading into Champions Paris. But I think with how their map pool has looked, they'll hopefully be well prepared on Abyss and a couple of the other maps that have looked rough. And yeah, I think Fnatic is gonna win that map. Then I think RRQ is gonna pick Lotus because it's their best map, and I think that could lead to it being a 2-0 if Fnatic plays really well, because in the past this has been a map that they have been insane on. So it might happen that we see a Fnatic 2-0 if it happens like this. But I will favor RRQ for the time being. Then Fnatic should ban Haven, because out of the remaining ones, this is the best map for RRQ that they aren't confident on themselves, because Corrode they are probably more confident on than Haven, I would assume, even though Haven also has been historically a map that Fnatic has been good on, just not recently. And then RRQ, I think, are gonna ban Ascent because it's their own worst map out of the remaining ones. And then that would leave us with Corrode, which could go either way, to be honest. I don't think the difference is that big. Fnatic just haven't played it a lot. But yeah, Fnatic has looked really good on attack Corrode, so we might see Fnatic getting an upset win over RRQ. I think it's certainly possible, especially if they brushed up a couple of their maps that have looked rough. But for the time being, I'm betting 2-1 for RRQ. Then next up we have Team Liquid versus DRX, and as you can see, DRX have not played Sunset yet. But TL obviously doesn't know whether the RX have prepped a map in the meantime. Plus, it's a map that they're fairly good on. So, yeah, I don't think Team Liquid has any worries coming into this match against the RX. And as you can see, I think it's gonna be a 2-0 for Team Liquid. NRG versus EDG. This could be an interesting one, because I think in general, NRG are favorites over EDG, but EDG obviously has the potential. Plus, as you can see with the differences, it's kind of a bit in EDG's favor, as in they have more maps that they have a bigger, that they have a higher elo rating, so they're a bit better on more maps. But Haven is obviously a really close map, and I think that's gonna be the last map that it's gonna come down on who wins. And yeah, I think that could be really exciting, and especially if EDG kind of gets a bit back to their old form, to last year's champs form maybe, with Kang maybe being more prepped on the Euro, looking way better on the Euro than he did the last couple of matches we've seen him, where he already started to improve. Then I think EDG certainly can go very far in this tournament. But right now I'm betting a 2-1 for NRG. So now we have G2 versus Team Heretics, and as you can see, G2 is heavily favored. They will be against pretty much any team, and certainly within their group they're way favored against any team. And I'm still saying that G2 only win 2-1 and not 2-0. That Team Heretics gets a win on Haven, even though the elo indicates that G2 is better on that map. I think Heretics looked really great on that map as well, and I think we're gonna get a closer match than you might expect. And yeah, I'm going with a 2-1 for G2 still. And then lastly, we have DRG versus T1. And this is also a interesting match because we obviously have to the elo rating, which is when DRG was playing with Wuxu, and it's gonna be a big difference when they will have Demon 1 instead of Wuxu, if that ends up being the case. So I'm picking a 2, or I would have said a 2-1 for DRG if Wuxu was playing, but I think the last map is gonna go T1's way, with Wuxu not getting to play and Demon 1 subbing in. So yeah, I'm saying that it's a 2-1 for DRG, even though based on what the core of the team would have done, where I would have said 2-1 DRG. So now let's head into the Pickems. So here we are, and let's head right into it with Paper X against Gilai. I've picked Paper X as what I've shown. Then I'm picking Sentinels. Right, this is just what I've said in the map picks and bans, how I think it's gonna go. I think Paper X is then gonna beat Sentinels, with Giant X beating Gilai, and then the rematch of Sentinels versus Giant X. And I'm picking Sentinels yet again. Doubting Giant X, and I'm more than ready for them to surprise me and show me that they are one of the teams who is gonna make it to the playoff stage. But yeah, right now I'm picking Sentinels over Giant X. Then we're gonna head to Group B. As I've said, BLG with a win over MIBR. Then RRQ with a close win against Fnatic. This could go either way. If Fnatic plays well, then BLG against RRQ, and I think this is gonna be a really close match again. I think in general between BLG, RRQ and Fnatic, it's gonna be really close. Any of these teams could win, and get out of that group, and any of these teams could be the third team who doesn't make it. But I think I am gonna pick PLG here. Fnatic I've done winning against MIB obviously, and we get the rematch in that case between RRQ and Fnatic, and it could go either way. I really pick Fnatic over RRQ here. Yeah, I think I am gonna do that. I think Fnatic will get that lower bracket run, that short lower bracket in that group. Started with an easy win against MIBR, them getting confidence, and then yeah, Alpha being mad at losing against RRQ the first time around, and then him just having an insane performance and getting Fnatic over the line. That's what I'm going with here. So then next up we have Group C, where we have Team Liquid winning against DRX, and then NRG winning against EDG. Then I have Team Liquid winning against NRG. I see Team Liquid as one of the best teams, so I for sure favor them over NRG. I think EDG is gonna beat DRX. And then we get the rematch of NRG and EDG. Does the same thing happen as it did with RRQ and Fnatic, in my opinion? And to be honest, I don't think so. Right now, I don't have trust in EDG, even though I really would like to have it. I really want to see them go deep, but I think they'll drop out in the group stage. And then lastly, Group D. G2 win against Heretics, as I've said, and T1 against DRG, given that DRG play with their sub. I think G2 wins against T1 and Team Heretics wins against DRG. And then we have T1 against Heretics, and I think this is gonna be a really, really close match as well. But I do see Heretics winning this one. So, yeah. These are my Pickems locked in. I don't feel great at all. I think here there's a lot of potential for mix up. I think with these three teams, there's a lot of potential for mix up. Also, NRG, EDG could go either way, and T1 I could really see getting out of groups as well. So there are way too many close games to be able to predict anything here. But for the moment, that's what I'm going with. And yeah, I'm more than anything just excited for a great tournament. I think we're going to get incredible matches, and that's what I'm looking forward to. So I wish you guys luck with your pick'ems as well. I hope the tournament is going to deliver. I hope we're going to get a lot of close matches. And yeah, I see you guys next time.